Sarnath, archaeological site north of Varanasi, eastern Uttar Pradesh state, northern India. According to tradition, it was there that the Buddha first began teaching his followers. The site contains a stupa shrine and the famous lion capital memorial pillar, which was erected by the 3rd century B. The archaeological remains of Sarnath started attracting the scholars since the 19th century. As a result, excavation works of Sarnath started first of all by Sir Alexander Cunningham 1835–36, Major Kittoe 185152, Mr. C. Horne 1865, Mr. F. Oertal 1904–05, Sir Johan Marshal 1907, Mr. H. Hargreaves 1914–15, Mr. Daya Ram Shani 1927–32. Then after a gap of about 82 years, once again excavation work is conducted by Sarnath Circle, Sarnath of Archaeological Survey of India. It is the site where Lord Buddha delivered his first sermons, after his enlightenment to the 5 Pankavajja monks who left him. After he gave up his austere penances, he taught them Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths, and subsequently his first 5 disciples achieved enlightenment and became arahats. Buddha also preached many other sutta while staying in Brigadava. Buddhist community of Sangha was then found and formed from here. It was said that the numbers of monk began with 5, increasing to 60 during Buddha's time and growing to 12,000 in 2nd century. The travel accounts of Chinese monk Rev. Zhuanzang disclosed that there were 3,000 monks and 300 monasteries when he visited Sarnath in 7th century. Sarnath was leveled to ground in the invasion of Muslims, led by Qutbuddin Aibak in year 1194, and remained as a forest of debris, with all historical ruins buried underground. The most conspicuous and imposing structure in Sarnath is Dhamek Stupa, which was also known as Dhameka. It is one of the most prominent Buddhist structure in India. The present existing solid cylindrical building was believed to have been constructed in year 500 during Gupta era, over the original site of a structure built by Mauryan King Ashoka in year 249 BC. Dhamek Stupa is a solid cylinder built with bricks and stones, measures with a height of 43.6 meter and 28 meter in diameter. The base of the stupa was most probably sitting on the original site of the earlier building. The successive structure had merged into the old one and embellished it. The lower part of Dhamek Stupa is fully covered with fascinated stone carved designs with floral patterns of Gupta period 4th–6th century, attractive figures of humans, birds, and some Brahmin scripts. The decorative designs at some part consist of a broad bank of swastika carved out in different geometrical patterns, with a finely chiseled lotus wreath running over and below it. Dhamek Stupa is the most auspicious site for most Buddhist pilgrims who normally would circle round the stupa while doing some recitation of Buddhist verses. Following behind the steps of Time Monk, we mindfully circled round Dhamek Stupa 3 times in a chilly, misty morning. The word Dhameka was found on a stone tablet from the top center of Dhamek Stupa unearthed during excavation. The inscription mentioned that this was the spot where Buddha delivered his first sermon. It was also believed that the place could also be the site of the living huts where the 5 ascetics used to stay after they left Bodh Gaya. Sarnath, also known as Isipatana in the past, which means landing place of holy man. It was located near the confluence of Ganges and Gomati River 13 kilometers away northeast of Varanasi. Sarnath is one of the four main Buddhist pilgrimage destinations, as it was where the first turning of Dharma wheel took place. Buddhism flourished in Sarnath for more than 15 decades. Partly was because of its position. It neighbored with Varanasi, which was an important arts center from 3rd to 6th century, and a place where kings and wealthy merchants lived. Remnants and ruins of monasteries, temples and votive stupas are found in a labyrinth enclosed inside the main area. There are many ruins of small stupas, vihars, and small temples. Votive stupas were basically built to commemorate the visits of various acknowledged Buddhist masters and dignities. After the city was sacked by Turkish Muslims in 12th century, the Buddhist prosperous sites was completely destroyed and structures were subsequently plundered for building materials. The most of the remains were from time of Maurya King Ashoka, 268 to 32 BC. The impressive stone carvings are at the broken ruins. Panchadan Temple was the sunken shrine of 4 square temples, dated to Gupta period in 4th, 6th century. It was the site where Buddha converted the rich merchant Yasha to Buddhism. Broken parts of the most celebrated Ashoka pillars, built by King Ashoka, remained at the original site in Sarnath. Pillar was completed with a lion capital at its top when it was first built in year 250 BC. During Turk invasion, the lion capital was broken off and dropped from 45 feet down to the ground, but miraculously survived. The lion capital, which is now the national emblem and national symbol in India, is now displaced in Sarnath Museum. The Brahmin inscription at Ashoka main pillars indicated that this was the spot where Lord Buddha preached his first sermon. King Ashoka erected pillar to commemorate his visit in 3rd century BC. Hidden inside these beautiful ornamented broken pillars is an important building part of Great Dharmarajika Stupa, monolithic railing. Monolithic railing, which was most probably the part placed on top of Dharmarajika Stupa, was found during the excavation in year 1904-5. Monolithic railing was made from Chunnar sandstone and measured to 0.54 meters in length by 1.45 meters in height. The two inscriptions revealed that it was dated to 3rd century BC and related to the teachers of Sarvastivadan sect. Large area of ruins and remains of a cluster of small Voda stupas and temples. Dharmarajika Stupa was the place where Pankavajias spent their time in meditation before Lord Buddha arrived. The site where 500 Pakseka Buddhas entered into nirvana, and the place where Maitreya received assurance of his becoming the next Buddha, were all within the vicinity nearby Dharmarajika Stupa. Dharmarajika Stupa was one of two great stupas that adorned the Buddhist city of Sarnath in the past but now only remain a large circular base, made of layers of bricks with a completely flat upper surface. Dharmarajika Stupa was one of the stupas built by King Ashoka to enshrine the relics of Buddha that he had extracted from the main 8 relic original stupas. In 18th century, Dharmarajika Stupa was completely destroyed by Raja Chet Singh of Banaras, and its structural parts were removed to Varanasi to be used as building materials. For other temples, relics found inside the stupa were all thrown into Ganges River. Though the huge and grand brick structure remained only a flat circular structure of its bricks foundation, it was still one of the most significant Buddhist sites to all Buddhist pilgrims. Follow the trails to explore and pay homage to one of the most sacred Buddhist sites around the archaeological complex of Sarnath. The remnant of Sarnath site was rediscovered by British General Colonel Alexander Cunningham, who found Nigadaya in 20th century. The site was identified as the ancient Isapatana, where Lord Buddha delivered the historic first sermon Dhammacakkappavanta Sutta, and the second sermon Anattalakkhana Sutta, and as well as the founding of the Sangha. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you found the information valuable. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content like this.